No, Pat did not suffer fools gladly at all. He was, he would be impatient, but yet in a very nice, understanding way. It was just very matter of fact with him. It was not personal, not emotional, but it was just, if you were a fool, he pretty well told you so, and you still liked him after it was over.
You really didn't have to wonder what Grandpa thought, and it carries to this day, because I'll meet bankers in the industry, and they'll all say variation on the same theme. You knew what he thought, and you knew he meant it. And I didn't always take that as a compliment, but I really do now, that he was honest and straightforward, and I try to do the same.
Pat ran a wonderful bank. He started it and developed it. It never got into any trouble. It always consistently grew. It was well-performing. He trained his people, particularly his family, to know how to run a well-run bank.
He was a genius in starting this bank. You know, when he did, it was exactly the right time and in exactly the right place. And the way he ran this bank and the way he grew it was remarkable.
The bank was really an extension of the family for Grandpa, and he loved the people that he worked with, and he really appreciated the efforts that the employees took to make this a good company and help our local economy and help the community. A
lot of business people will give you the opinion that they believe in the community, or they believe. He truly did.
When the decision was made to put forth an effort to locate a military installation here, the job became, how can we accumulate enough land to pull this off? The idea was that money would be raised to purchase the property necessary at fair market value from the folks involved that own property out here. That was where my dad, I think, really made a difference.
Grandpa was a patriot, and he served his country, served in the Army. After that, when he came home here, he saw the base as an economic engine, definitely, and saw the value of having it here. But he also saw the mission of the base in serving the greater defense and the country as extremely important, and wanted to make sure that we, as a community, supported the base, supported the airmen and their families, and made strides to do that all the time.
Pat's view always was long-term. I mean, he was seeing Jacksonville, 20, 30 years beyond where the rest of us were looking at it. And his role was not insignificant. I mean, it was a major, he was a major, if not the major factor in the development of this city, in my opinion.
Beyond the Razorbacks and Air Force Base and family, education was a huge priority for him. He was very proud that all 9 of us grandchildren earned their college degrees.
He was very interested in education and very interested in the University of Arkansas, because that was a difference maker for him, getting that education and coming back to put it to use here in his hometown.
Grandpa knew and felt in his heart that economic education was hugely important to the overall economy and to individuals. And he encouraged us to take accounting and economics classes in college. And it didn't matter if we wanted to be a graphic artist or a lawyer or a doctor, whatever. He wanted us to have those as a basis for our education, to understand the basics of business and how the economy works.
Pat was really interested in basic economic education, because I think he understood how important it was. And he got me involved in it. I was never involved in it to the extent he was, but I worked with Dr. Moore, and Dr. Moore felt strongly that for a citizen to be able to vote, to be able to participate actively in being a good citizen, they needed to understand something about economics.
If you don't have economic education, you have a good chance of not remaining a democracy, I think.
They understood that intuitively. I mean, you didn't have to discuss that. They understood it. She and Pat were both hell on wheels when it comes to getting stuff done. And I remember thinking how much alike they were, in that they both were very direct, they were single-minded toward a goal, and they were competent and were insistent that other people be fair and honest with them. Economic education is tremendously important. It's development of your citizens.